So, hello and welcome to the Cheshire League LR7 review show for Wednesday the 13th of September. This week I want to do something slightly different simply because we're right into September. September traditionally a cup month. You won't see many league games played this month, and of course with the weather last weekend we didn't have many games played at all. So I'm going to concentrate on a review of August, a review of the tables, a review of the form, a review of the goal scorers, and anything else that crops up as I'm blabbering on through the league tables as we go. So straight away, let's get into our Premier Division and have a look at the table there. Knutsford played 7, won 7, top of the shop, 21 points, a 4-point cushion on last year's double winners, Whaley Bridge at the moment. Both Congleton, both Knutsford and Whaley Bridge are unbeaten in the league, as are Rylands. They're all 0 defeats. It's the games they've played. Whaley Bridge have drawn 2 of theirs, and Rylands have won 3 and drawn 4. Congleton, with that extra game played, are sat in third on 15 points, and really that's good for them in terms of progression, pushing up the league. They finished sort of mid-table last season, and that's good early season progression for them. I want to drop down to the bottom end of the table, and the reason for this is that if we have a look at the bottom of the table, Altrincham FC reserves. Then we've got third bottom after Greenhalghs, we've got Poynton, and then we've got Linotype. So looking at those records there, Linotype played 8, won 1, drawn 3, lost 4. Poynton won 1, drawn 3, lost 3, and Altrincham won 1, drawn 1, and lost 6. In terms of those 3 teams who are right up, battling it out in the top 6 last season, what's gone wrong? And to add a bit more intrigue to the goings-on in our Cheshire League Premier Division, the Poynton manager has left and gone to Linotype, who have played a game more, are on the same number of points as Poynton. Intriguing, absolutely, gobsmacking, really. But then again, there have been changes in manager at Linotype over the summer. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out. How are our new clubs doing? How are the new teams doing in that division? Warrington Town comfortably sat in 10th place. 1, 2, drawn 2, lost 3. It's a learning curve. It's a young side. They're finding their feet in that Premier Division. Comfortably sat in 10th. Billinge played 7, 1, 2, drawn 1, lost 4. Again, they're on 7 points, a point clear of the relegation zone, but they're finding their feet and getting used to life back in the Premier Division. If we just run through some of the other teams, maybe some of the surprises. Wythenshawe Town played 7, won 3, drawn 2, lost 2. We know that they're applying to the North West Counties. We know that they want to progress, but the squad and the results maybe this season are the ones that are lacking, and they'll be looking to improve. They've got to make sure they've got a top 5 finish to enable them to complete that last tick in the box for their promotion status. Ashton Town, relegated from the North West Counties, sat in 5th, played 7, won 4, drawn 1, lost 2. Our league's representatives in the FA Vars last weekend losing an extra time to Lidland, Remyka, of course, who had their reserve side in our league only a couple of seasons ago. So the other 2 shocks really. Rudheath Social sat in 9th, won 3, drawn 1, lost 3. They were relegation fodder last year, apart from that last day win, that mammoth win against Garswood. They're sat in 9th quite comfortably on 10 points. And Denton Town right up there. They made such a late run. They could have even almost finished second in the league last season. Played 7, won 2, drawn 1, lost 4. They're on 7 points, goal difference of 6. It's all higgledy-piggledy in there. Malpas are in there too. Eagle started last season so badly they looked like relegation fodder, and now they're 1, 3, drawn 1, lost 4, sat in mid-table. Crewe, with the goal machine Nathan Southern, how are they only in 6th? No, played 8, won 3, drawn 2, lost 3. Great form, a great result in the Cheshire Cup for them at the weekend as well. Into the League One. League One, how does that shape up? New teams 2 relegated from the Prem, Style and Garswood, 2 promoted from League 2 in Windle and Diva. So let's have a look at the table. Maybe it's this year's revelation of Edgerton FC. What's going on at Edgerton? They've got an absolute stonking form. Played 8, won 6, drawn 1, lost 1. Goal difference of 19 points. 4 points clear, although Style in 3rd and Dayton in 4th have a game and 2 games in hand on them. But they're 4 points clear of Middlewich Town at this point. Middlewich Town, Ross Spate, my mate Ross, was looking at getting sacked at Christmas last season. Bottom of League One, or down towards the bottom of League One. Results not going their way. They had a positive result in the Cheshire Cup against West Kirby at the weekend. They're sat in 2nd in the league and they're a point clear of Style, but they're in amongst the pack. Down at the bottom, should we be surprised that Cheadle Reserves are down at the bottom? Last season, it took them, I'm trying to think now, I think it was into December or January to record a league victory. So this season, played 8, won none, drawn 3, lost 5. Shouldn't be a surprise. I'm sure they can improve. They did last season, but let's see what happens there. Goulburn, 2nd bottom, not a usual position for them. Again, it's players changing form. Who knows? The big surprise, down in 14th, AFC Macclesfield, 3rd last season, knocking on the door for promotion, really having a hard go at promotion there, and they sit 3rd bottom, won 1, drawn 2, lost 5, -13. I've spoken to Ed Haslam, the manager. He bemoans the fact that the North West Counties and Evo Stick Leagues have come hunting for his players. Hardly surprising in terms of some of the goal machines he's had up front the last couple of seasons. But they currently sit 3rd bottom in League One. If we go back into that top section, Dayton, absolutely phenomenal form so far this season. Only played 6. Won 4, drawn 1, lost 1. A goal difference of 8. They had a huge 100-mile round trip, 100-mile each way trip, I think, to play Millom in the Lancashire Cup at the weekend. They lost out there 3-2, and now they're back into league duty this weekend. But they're certainly a revelation this season compared to recent seasons' forms. Diva, new life in League One, won 4, lost 2. Again, they had a County Cup defeat at the weekend, but they're settling into life in League One. Well, Garswood United, relegated, and really relegated, without a hope last season. They didn't seem to hit any patch of form whatsoever, not really aided by the weather there. But this season, played 6, won 2, drawn 1, lost 3. In different form, mixed bag. Can they recover? Can they get themselves back into the promotion mix? It's early days, but interesting. The one thing I do want to point out is, and I do get people on Twitter and on email asking me, why do we play so many games in August? August presents us with an opportunity to play at least 4 Saturdays, if we do have 4 Saturdays, and 4 midweeks. Those 8 games, or 6 to 8 games, depending on how the fixtures fall, mean that when we have a Saturday like last Saturday, the 9th, when we chucks it down, I don't panic and think, crumbs, no, I'm going to have to make people play on New Year's Day, I'm going to have to make people play on Boxing Day, all those kind of things. To explain a little bit about fixtures, it's not just a case of, right, I'll give everybody equal numbers of games and all those kind of things. I can do the fixtures to the end of the season, not a problem. But County Cup, District Cup, Guardian Cup, Northern Cup, and then you get postponements. So when a County Cup or a District Cup is postponed, it rolls to the next week. So there are 4 or 5 fixtures from last Saturday, County Cup fixtures, that now are this Saturday, which means all this Saturday's fixtures have had to be postponed and cup matches rearranged. It means that sides are not having a game because there's no opponents available, there are no home grounds available. If you are the reserve side of a senior club in the counties or the Evo Stick, it makes it very difficult. Sandbach United Reserves, for example, they have got 4 or 5 away games in September simply because the North West Counties have given their first team all home games all month. And that might be Vars, that might be their League Cup, it might be league games, but I have no home fixtures, no home ground availability to give Sandbach United Reserves a game at home this season. This month of September. That neatly rounds up a little bit about fixtures in League One. Let's jump into League Two and have a look at League Two. The newcomers, Now, the highs and lows, Ford Motors, what can we say? They are, the form side and absolutely blowing everybody away in League Two. They've played 9, they've won 8, and they've drawn 1. A goal difference of 28 to them, positive. They're 6 points clear on 25 points. A phenomenal start to the season. Can they keep it up? They got to the President's Cup final last season. They know they didn't perform as well as they should have done in the league last year. But what a great start for them. Broadheath, they went off like a train at the start of last season too. Played 8, won 6, drawn 1, lost 1, with points 19, a point clear with a game less than Unicorn. Unicorn, another side from the Altrincham area that has had a phenomenal start. Won 6 and lost 1 in the league. They had their Cheshire Cup postponed last weekend, so it rolls to this weekend. But again, great run of form for them. Buxton, new joiners, played 8, won 5, lost 3, 15 points, sat in 4th, doing really well. Grappenhall in 5th. A relegated side, but looking to get straight back up there. Cuddington, mixed bag, must be doing Gaz's head in, but played 8, won 3, drawn 1, lost 4. Now, they went off like a train on the very first few weeks of the season, but they've settled into 7th place on 10 points. We've got Tarpley, one of the relegated sides, won 3, lost 5. They traditionally have to share the ground with cricket, so they have a lot of away games early season. So hopefully their home form can see them recover a little of that and get back in the mix. We've got Blaken joining us, and they've got the 2-2-2. Played 6, won 2, drawn 2, lost 2 on 8 points. And Vulcan, won 2, lost 4. The one surprise for me is Alford FC. I expected them to do a little better. Again, it's early season, August, with holidays and the number of games. You don't really get a true picture and a settled side. But Alford, they've played 7, won 2, lost 5 on 6 points. Sandbach United, in 3rd bottom, 6 points from 7. Main Road, they've only played 4 due to ground availability. They've won 1, lost 3, and on 3 points. And St Helens Town Reserves, a very young side. They've played 8, lost 8 with a goal difference of -36. But they're in there, they're having a go, and I'm sure as they get used to playing in the Cheshire League 2, they will pick up some points as the season goes on. Moore United, comfortably sat in 6th. Played 6, won 3, drawn 2, lost 1. Into the Reserve Division. The Reserve Division is a complete mixed bag this year. We've combined the 2 divisions back together to make sure we have a viable and a proper strong competition for people to play in. 18 teams, that's a lot of games. So when I get requests for, can we have a weekend off, can we have it's Joe's stag do, etc., I'm quite happy if you give me enough notice to give you a weekend off. But you have to think, we're having this weekend off, this could mean that we've got to play an extra midweek back in April, and you can't curse me as fixture secretary for giving you that game because you've asked for a weekend off for a stag do or a wedding. Who gets married in the football season anyway? Come on, guys, sort your dates out. Into the Reserve Division, 18 teams and Greenhalls. Padgate St Oswald's reserves sit top of the pile. Won 4, drawn 3 of their 7 games. Goal difference of 6, 15 points. The closest rivals who have lost 1 are Grylands. Won 4, drawn 2, lost 1. 14 points. FC St Helens Reserves played 8, won 4, drawn 2, lost 2. Knutsford A went off like a train. They've had a couple of games postponed. Looking after that pitch. Knutsford A played 6, won 4, drawn 1, lost 1. To be fair, Nev was standing in a puddle up to his waist. He is quite short though. Up to his waist on Saturday, so that was quite a 100% game off situation there. If we go right down to the bottom, Alford Reserves, new joiners from the Warrington League this season. Played 7, drawn 1, lost 6. Billings Reserves. I'm surprised at Billings Reserves. Again, is it personnel? Unavailable, start the season, holidays, etc. I'm sure they'll recover. Goulburn Sports, 3rd bottom. Won 1, drawn 2, lost 3 with 5 points. Linotype. It just seems to be a club thing at the moment. They've not started the season well in either the Premier Division or the Reserve Division. Normally, they're up there or thereabouts, top 6, challenging for honours. Played 8, won 2, lost 6 in the Reserve Division. Vulcan, new joiners again this season, played 6, won 2, drawn 1, lost 3. They're finding their feet. Dayton Reserves not reflecting their form, their first team form, But certainly an end-to-end fabulous 4-3 game that they won at the weekend at home against Linotype Cheadle. 4-0 up by half-time. Eased off a little in the second half, let Linotype in right at the end, and it could have been a draw, but they just held out for those last few minutes. Style Reserves, middle of the pile, 10th, played 7, won 3, drawn 1, lost 3, 10 points there, and a complete mixed bag. You know, the top 6. If you look at last season's table, apart from Knutsford, you'd say, well, it's complete mixed bag, and it really is that early season shake-up. Just to give you some key dates coming in the next few weeks. We've got this week the 16th, which is a mix of Guardian Cup, Liverpool County Cup and Cheshire Cup from last weekend. The 23rd is more District Cup games. We've got Guardian Cup games. And then we go on to the 30th. The 30th is, of course, the first rounds in League 1, 2 and the Reserve Division for our League Cups. Once we get into October, Premier Division Cup first week, and then we get back into County and District Cup rounds, and the Northern Cup starts for League 2 and Reserve sides on the 21st. I hope you've enjoyed our League Roundup. I'm going to go through a few stats now, just because there are players out there banging the goals away, and that we need to just give a little shout out to in terms of goals. So I'm going to have a look at the Premier Division to start with, and where else is there to start with other than Nathan Southern. He's been called up to the Cheshire Interleague side. We've got that big National Cup match against the Chester and Wirral League on the 14th of October. Still waiting to hear where we're going to play that. But Nathan Southern, he scored 13 goals in 9 games. Absolutely phenomenal record. Start to the season. He's breaking records at Crew FC this season and definitely deserves his place in that squad. Gavin Salmon for Denton Town. The old man, Grandad Salmon. He's played 7 and scored 8 and has certainly had a good start to the season, and hopefully Denton can keep a tighter defence and use those goals to push themselves up the table. Alex Briscoe of Eagle Sports, he's played 7, scored 7. Ben Brooks of Knutsford played 7, scored 7. And David Owens of Knutsford played 8, scored 7 goals. Liam Bodenworth, a mention, played 6, scored 5 in there. And Aaron Cook of Congleton played 7, scored 5. Go and have a look at full time. It's not just the league tables and the fixtures and results. Click on stats. Go and drill into it. Look at the form tables. See who are the teams to look out for. Let's go into the top scorers table for League 1. In there, James Thorne. James Thorne played 7, scored 18. And what can you say? I refereed them against Windle Labour. He scored 5 in that game. He scored hat-tricks for fun. He's absolutely on fire. Played 7, scored 18. And then, it's bizarre. The next nearest person, Jonathan Poyser of West Didsbury and Chorlton Reserves, played 6, scored 7. So James Thorne running away with it by an absolute country mile. Will he still be there in the coming weeks? Will somebody at a high level pick him up? You never know. Daniel Clark of Garswood. Daniel Clark of Cheshire League Interleague side. He's played 3, scored 6. Well, that's a great record. And again, shows why he's in the interleague side. Shaquille De Pisa, Mersey Valley, played 7, scored 6. Warren Jevons of Windle Labour, played 2, scored 5. There are goal scorers out there. Aaron Knight for Edgerton, played 8, scored 5. There are some great goal scorers in League 1. Let's drop into League 2. How many Ford Motors players will be in the top 6 or 7 goal scorers? Let's have a look. Aaron McGrath of Moore United, played 7, scored 11. Deloney Kubemba of Grappenor Sports, played 7, scored 10. Gary Crook of Ford Motors, there you go, played 6, scored 9. Andrew Ranwell of Buxton Reserves, played 8, scored 8. And Joe Marley of Tarpley Vicks, played 8, scored 7, are in the top 5 goal scorers for them there too. Don't forget to tag yourself in the video, like it, comment, give us feedback on the format of our shows so we can improve them for you guys every week. Into the Reserve Division, Bradley Williams of Knutsford A played 6, scored 7. Matthew Mayers of Moore United Reserves played 7, scored 5. James Morley of FC St Helens played 8, scored 5. Ben Morris of Pilkington Reserves played 6, scored 5. And Josh Wales of Denton Town Reserves played 5, scored 5. Just shouting out Matthew Coleman of Eagle Sports Reserves, played 2, scored 4. have a look at the stats. No, we can look at opposition man of the match. That goes to the overall player of the year. If you get nominated on the team sheet at the end of a game as the opposition man of the match, make sure your secretary is entering that onto the full time, because that counts for the player of the year award at the end of the season. If we go into opposition player of the match awards so far this season, we can see that there are a whole host of people with 3 nominations already this season. Daniel Bell of Garswood, Mark Hughes of Greenhalls, Connor Irving of Vulcan, Gary Kenny of Billinge, Jason Leach of Poynton, Jack Miller of Buxton, Robert Newton of Whaley Bridge, and Morgan Anu of St Helens Town Reserves. We've also got Nev Picton of Ford Motors, Gavin Salmon of Denton, and Steve Walhooter of Billinge as well. There are lots and lots of stats, lots and lots of information in there. You can even see how many who's got the most yellow and red cards. Now, as a matter of interest, let's go and have a look at red cards. It's always an interesting stat. See who the miscreants. Majority are all 1, so there's nobody that's standing out there. In terms of yellow cards, let's have a look at yellow cards. Who are the bad boys in terms of the number of yellow cards? Oh, Ben Connolly of Linotype Chigleaf Nomads. He's the top of the pile with 4. Ben, well done to you. 1 more and you get a 2-match suspension, so just go easy the next few games. Jordan Cooper of Buxton with 3. Adam Creed of Grappenor with 3. And there's a whole long list of people with 3 yellow cards. Please be aware that with your yellow cards, especially yellow cards for dissent, they all count against the club for your charter standard. You cannot afford to lose your charter standard status, because we can't have you in the league if you're not a charter standard club. Anyway, on that happy, cheerful note, thank you for joining us for this week's LR7. I hope you've enjoyed the slightly different format, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.